His name, Merlin.
What's going on, knights, lords, ladies, sorcerers, and enchantresses, and welcome back to Merlin Weekly, as I turn the microphone towards myself. Sorry, you guys are gonna get this episode early, but I was a little bit exhausted prior to this recording session. Anyway, His Father's Son, episode 5 from series 4. Let's dive into this. So it's beginning to become apparent that as Arthur is now just slowly going into kinghood, Agravain is trying to edge Arthur into the mold of Uther so that the usurpation of Morgana goes without really delay or problems. That's a big if because we still have Merlin not that far away, aka Emrys, that is still the going compass of things going on. However, this episode kind of shows what Agravain's actions cause to make ramifications happen. Of Arthur actually executing a fellow king that recently had his land for a good couple of years now, and his wife is now beside herself in anger and vengeance, trying to take out her frustration out on Arthur for taking the life of her husband because he did so in a quote-unquote cowardice manner, thus enacting a war between Camelot and a neighboring kingdom, all to Agravain's chagrin of, oh, this is going so wonderfully well. Now, maybe, just maybe, Lady Morgana will love me enough to touch my... Anyway, from this whole interaction, Merlin has to try and steer Arthur back onto the right track of becoming the best king instead of the prior king. And this is where the show actually starts picking up for myself again, because I start forgetting why I hated Series 4, because it focuses on the day-to-day thing of Arthur still trying to get his feet wet with the whole kinghood going on. My apologies, the mic has been a little bit weird lately, so I'm going to try again with this next take. But still, it does go a long way with this episode very much being the highlight over the other past episodes, because there's been a lot of stuff going wrong with the connotations with how Arthur has been with as a king without really showing what he was supposed to be foreshadowing for the new land of Ambion, for at least Camelot is concerned. Because everywhere else you see them being very chill with magic, but with Arthur it's like, oh, well, Dad didn't like this, I used it, now Dad's dead, I guess gotta outlaw magic now. But with this episode, it made you kind of forget that that actually happened, and made you feel invested into how a lot of bad decisions can make Arthur a bad king, but when he listens to the right people that know him best, he can become the great king of legend, the great king of mythology. Even though this episode does show a lot of things that go wrong, not only for himself, but with Morgana as well, being not only told by another ruler that she doesn't sound like her foster father, but more and more like her blood father. Both of them show the darker nature of what happens when the Pendragons are led down a much more darker intent than what's actually supposed to be a righteous front. They show how far a real blue blood line can go down in a very brutal time in history of the Middle Ages. And that's actually very well illustrated in how this episode tried to do a nice character study and made you honestly want to be better invested with the series from this episode forward. If they started with this episode as an interluding monologue thing of just like, oh, well, Uther's still catatonic, so what will Arthur do as the acting king? Oh, almost start a war? Okay, we can start with this thing. It would be very understandable. We would have some nice little moments. And this is what makes me feel like this is a show I can get back in love with. Writing like this, even though it's several episodes too late for a good character study about what you should be looking forward to, it's a good character promising thing. And you're probably just like, why aren't you talking about all the big notes in question? Why aren't you talking about all the big moments that happen in the show? Why aren't you talking about the Arthur x Gwen moments? I could talk about all those in large, but with all the episodes to come that are much more fleshed out with these elements than this episode alone, I'd rather just leave you guys with these small nuggets of what if, as we prepare for next week. So I'll see you guys then.